Now we're live. All right. There we go. Punch in a little more. Nice. Hold on one second, too. I just want to do one little thing because I have been working all day. I want to get a little audio, too. Almost there. Okay, we are just about set. Okay, thank you for everyone's patience. This podcast is going to get a little more structured and formal over time. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan Kuna, Dr. AI. Today, we're going to be talking about the base AI foundation of the tech tools or tech skills that you need to have just to be like super, like I'm calling this level one. Before everyone dives into like super advanced tools like GenSpark, and we'll talk about that. Basically, I'm going to talk about the foundation and what those tools are. I'm next going to go into how to start an online business, how to monetize and make money online, leveraging AI tools. What tools do you need? What should you use StanStore? What email marketing tool? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to break that down. All of this is going to be completely covered, and then we'll dive a little deep, and I'll talk about Saturday's workshop, which I'm excited to announce. So good to see my students. We have Gabrielle and we have Lucy and everyone else. I see you guys in the comments. Welcome. Today is going to be a fun show. We're being consistent with a new habit, new routine, a daily podcast where the point of the show is put on the headphones, sit back, relax, go do chores, just listen. You don't have to look at the screen. That's one of the biggest things. Your attention, you could do chores, you could get some work done. Don't worry, I'm not going to be showing my screen. I have tons of YouTube videos that you could go watch. Just listen to my voice, and I'm going to share all the secrets right into your brain. So let's talk about AI-based foundation, because 99% of the world is still in ChatGPT level, and you'll be very surprised. Gabrielle, blessings. And so we want to make sure that people are leveraging the best AI tools that are out there so that they can do all the cool things. Because I actually had two members today. One, she posted in the community, she's like, I have something to get off my chest. And I was like, uh-oh. I'm always thinking like customer service. I'm like, uh-oh, did I forget an email or what happened? And she's like, I love GenSpark. And I'm like, dope. And like, because and then I was doing one-on-one coaching with another member in the community, and she's like, I want to teach ChatGPT, or she really wants to teach GenSpark, but like where her community is at, they're at ChatGPT level. She's like they have no idea how much like they're missing out on with GenSpark, and it's like there's levels to the game, and so not everyone needs so that's where it's like I want to do like an introduction, like a base level where do people get started today. Like if I'm going to teach an introduction to AI, what would be the curriculum that I would have and recommend? And number one is, honestly, before again we talk about AI, Gamma good as a so a lot of people use Gamma for presentations and slides. One question in the comment from Gabrielle, but I highly recommend, honestly, GenSpark does presentations, which is super nice. So to dive in, if we just dive, let's go base level up. Base level up starts with the computer that you use. Let's get a Mac. Going to be super easy. Any Mac, 16 gigs, M1 minimum. Doesn't even have to be this year. That's going to be the easiest. And then now that you got a Mac, and the reason why too, I had a family member. That's why I'm late. I like to try and be my best to be on time, but I'm late because I was doing tech call with one of my family members. Still refuses to get a Mac, and was like, I want to get the PC, and they're very computer savvy. But we spent an hour today troubleshooting an error in Windows of like some software bug. It was like some like spam software. It was like, and I'm like, I haven't gotten a Mac tech support call from any of my family members. As soon as I got them introduced, I give away my Mac computers to my family whenever I upgrade. I'm like, here's my old one, and because it's like, please. It's going to be so much easier at the end of the day. Just the computer that you use. You'd be surprised. So the next level up is voice to text. No more typing. If I see students typing in my class, I'm like, no typing. Voice to text. And there's a couple tools that are out there. I recommend Voice Inc. None of the tools that I recommend. I'm sponsored by none of the tools. I don't even think the show's not even sponsored. It's sponsored by me, Simple Tech Skills, or I'm calling it. Also, I also have to get clear on the branding of what I offer as well too. We have Dr. AI Academy, and then inside the academy we have the course vault, which is all my courses, and then we have the inner circle, which is the community. And I think that is going to be the branding that I'm slowly like trying to clarify my messaging as well too. But voice to text is super. So that's why I'm like saying, like, if I recommend a tool, is because it works and it's so great. I'll dump a tool if it's like becomes useless or bloated. Voice to text, the first one I recommend. Hey, Winston, good to see you. Winston, I still got to check out your new video that's coming out, or your new video that you released. And I want to see your Chroma Award submission too. So I know Winston's an AI filmmaker who has Glory House Studios, but I will support creators like doing amazing AI work, which is amazing. Pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI. So voice to text. The one I recommend is VoiceLink, Voice Inc. Very simple voice to text, and it's a one-time subscription, $25. The fastest. And let me tell you, I'm gonna lay you on some game right now. Don't go with the default model. When you download and install it, you definitely want to choose Parakeet V3. Parakeet V3. It's a language model from NVIDIA, if I'm not mistaken. It's super fast. It runs locally, and as soon as you finish, if I say a statement, and as soon as I finish and let go of the command key, instant text, and I'm like working 5 times faster. It is 5 times faster than typing, just using that tool alone. Cool. Next, I am helping with some members in the community doing productivity and task management and staying organized because they feel overwhelmed. They feel busy but not productive. They're busy but they're not productive, basically. We'll definitely check that, Winston. I'm excited to see that. But they have a bunch of, they're juggling tasks and projects. They're not managing their time. Worse, their subscriptions that are not being met, or like missing subscriptions and stuff like that. So I really want to do this, but I got to figure out how I want to promote this, like as a weekend workshop type thing. I really want to teach people 2 essential tools, Notion and TickTick. And trust me, I keep raving about these tools. Like people need these as the foundation before they start playing with AI. Well, everyone else is like, Gemini 2.5.78 now does her laundry, and then ChatGPT 7 just got dumber, and then here's a new release of a new tool, and you're like, when am I going to use this? Like, I'm just trying to make some extra side income. How can this help me today? So we want to simplify the things, and so that's why it's like, let's get Notion in as your second brain. That way you never forget anything. Like any fact, any detail, any note, like perfect memory. Upside to that is TickTick. Oh. TickTick doesn't get enough praise. Like there are not as many TickTick advocates that are out there that are really going deep into like the tool, because it literally is so minimal and simple to take all the chaos of all the tasks of that you have to do in work and life, and then simplify that and put it into TickTick, because it's so beautiful that it will organize all your tasks for work, for life, for subscriptions, and then it will sort by date, priority, reoccur, syncs with your calendar so you can time block down to the minute. There's one more favorite feature I'm trying. Yes. And then when you wake up every single day, as long as you do the system, like there's a couple tricks to it, and I do teach it. I don't teach it. There is, like, I think it's in my Notion YouTube video, but I do have it in the Notion course in the community, or in the TickTick course in the community. I teach you 2 habits and routines that you have to do to make this, to keep the system up to date, basically, so it doesn't fall behind and you can actually depend on it. Once you have this skill down, it's a skill, it's going to take you 2-3 weeks to like learn and get into the routine. Once you learn the TickTick way, oh my god, are you going to become stress-free? You will have reduced anxiety. You will become more calm and more relaxed when it comes time to doing very complicated work of big projects that you have to move the needle, that have a lot of missing pieces and websites and details and stuff you have to do. You'll sit there so calmly and relaxed because TickTick is handling it for you. TickTick is managing every single detail for you. And TickTick is going to make it so easy. You just press the today button. I'm all about pressing buttons. Like that's going to be a theme that you're going to see throughout the show, because it's also hint hint. It's the title of my book that's coming out. Press go. How I forgot the name of my own book. Bear with me. We're gonna get it almost like ready for submission this Friday, which I'm excited for. It's actually called. Oh well, may talk about that too, but let's see. Press go. It would help if I know my own title. I'm learning my own title. First draft. Where's the title here? Okay, there's a checklist of all the things I have to do. That's for sure. There has to. Oh, maybe here. Okay, yeah, that works. Press go, the simple method to replace manual work with systems that handle the work automatically. Very simple. I can prove that. Yeah. So press go, the simple method to replace manual work with systems that handle the work automatically. Because that's all been my like path to life of is pure laziness, as actually too. If you want to know like where it comes from, pure laziness. I just don't want to do the work. So I will obsess over all the types of automation and learn the skills to build the automation for the robot, for the program that would do it, and where I press a button and it does the work for me. That's like it's like laziness, like dangerous with like learning how to. That's why it's like when I first learned how to automate my first job, that changed everything, because it's a lot of data entry, a lot of manual stuff. Most of the 9 to 5 jobs, especially office work and collar work or white collar work, are like is like super office work. You're just moving data from one place to another. You're trying to synthesize a lot of information. It's a lot of data entry, just copy paste, copy paste. Computers could do that so fast. And once I learned AutoHotkey, which was a very simple language, I eliminated my entire 8-hour job. So when I come in on early, I would get a burrito. All my money like went straight towards the cafe breakfast for those breakfast burritos. I love a good breakfast burrito, like so good. So I get my breakfast burrito and then I sit down, and it is the simplest out of all the languages you can learn, like the commands. And oh my God, all of you, I'm so jealous, because I had to learn how to write every single line, the colons and the statements. I had to write. Now ChatGPT, GenSpark, Claude, they'll all write the code for you. You don't even have to know what the code is. I'm so jealous. Like, it is so easy right now to like build and automate, because you don't have to know how to write the code, or it's really helpful. It would help. So all that it was just, and of course the IT department, now we're getting story time, but the IT department banned any software. So I couldn't use any software installed on the computer. AutoHotkey was a software. It's only for Windows. They don't have a Mac version. So sad. It runs on a USB stick, so there's no software to install, and you can write the whole code in any text editor. So you don't need any special software. It's very simple and lean. However, it's incredibly powerful for automating anything on a Windows computer. So the mindset is, if you could reduce your work to any keyboard inputs or mouse movements, or you're looking on a screen and certain things have to show up, and when they show up, that triggers a button press or to fill out a form, all of that could be automated with AutoHotkey. And so I did my whole job, and then when people go on vacation, I had to cover their shift, and I'm like, oh, their work too, and I'm like, ugh. So then my work would double, and I'm like, okay, well, give me 6 hours and I'm going to automate, and basically all it is writing out very simple if this then if this happened, then do this, then do this, then do this, and if this happens, do this. So it's very simple. It's as far as like, because when I want to teach in my book is that the technology is irrelevant. Like the tools, the language of the tools is completely irrelevant. It's always going to change. So I'm making the book timeless by teaching principles, meaning that I teach you a very simple framework that if you could reduce things to very simple trigger, action, if this, then that, then now, especially with AI, you can automate a lot of stuff. And the main reward of doing all this is you buy back your time. So I had 7 hours to kill every single day for my office job. Like, so what are you gonna? I watched all the seasons of Twilight Zone. I listened to all the talk radio shows. I consumed so much information, just bored out of my mind. So then you start learning. You're like, I'm guessing I'm gonna keep learning. And you start learning more coding languages. You start learning more ways to automate it. You start getting into robotics, like so that you can automate anything in the physical environment. Start playing with Arduinos. Honestly, the best gift to give a kid is an Arduino, depending on their age. But Arduinos are like it's a gateway drug into either software or robotics, because some people gravitate to software. Like once you've like learned how to write your first program, it's not hard. Like Hello World is a great like introduction to like writing your first. You write some like words, and then all of a sudden it's like turning on and off a button or something like that, and you're like, I did that. Or you build your first website is also a great experience as well too. Some people just love software, so they'll gravitate towards that way. Other people are more like tangible with their hands and like to build stuff. So then they'll start gravitate towards actually building the circuit boards, to build the robotics, to put the sensors, to attach the motors that trigger something in the real world environment. For example, when the grass pot is dry, go ahead and turn on the water pump to water it for a set amount of time and then reset. So like you can automate anything in the physical world. And so the terrifying thing is like I'm not a good developer. Like I'm not really like super coding, like I'm not like depth. I'm like, but I was like, if I can automate my job, I'm replaceable. That's when the terror hit me. That's when I was like, everything could be replaced by code. That was like, oh wow, I gotta like really stay ahead of this. And that's what pushed me into like whatever tasks I got. I was like, how can I automate this in any way? So then I got the software, robotics, and then I automated my whole job. I didn't realize I was working with Oracle Siebel, one of the biggest databases, and then they were moving over into Salesforce. That's when all my code became obsolete overnight, and I was like, oh, I got to rewrite all my code for this thing called Salesforce. I was like, fine. And then I was part of the was the only team member that could write code. So then I started helping with the database migration and stuff like that. And so I learned Salesforce, but at that time in my career, I just burnt out. I was just a shell of my former self. Like corporate work, office work will suck the soul out of you. I was just nothing. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Health reasons. I was like, I'm done, and just cold quit. No backup plan, no savings. I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I know what I'm like. There's got to be something better, and it's definitely not this. So I left that, burnt out. I think I did that for like 6-7 years, give or take. No, I lasted about 7 or 8 years, which was like, ugh. So I share this because this is the backstory of like where a lot of the automation comes from. Also chapters from my book that I'm practicing for my TED Talk. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, actually, yeah, because this book will eventually lead to a TED Talk. It will happen. I'm so excited. And so that's one of the biggest things. So I'm trying to weave a lot of these automation, tech skills. As soon as I realized like how like easy it is to write computer programming, and like also how much of a superpower it gave me, like literally condense 8 hours of work to an hour. And I was like, that's insane. Like why isn't anyone doing this more popular? Like, and it's because when you're an hourly worker, you're not incentivized. It's not a meritocracy. You won't get promoted based on if you if you guys ever watch Office Space, there's the great quote where he's sitting there, he goes, if I help, what was it, Incutex ship a couple extra units, it doesn't impact my bottom line or my income in any way. So he's like, why? And so you realize that pill pretty early on. But the only game in 9 to 5 world is you got to quit and leave to another company to get a pay raise, to then quit and leave another company, to do that every 2 years, and you got to upskill in certifications, and you got to play that whole game. And it's all relationships. It's not a meritocracy, because like I would replace entire departments. I would get, oh my god, the amount of like issue take or like violations I would get because I would take away union jobs, because I'm like, I'd eventually like start automating everything I touched, and then that people get sensitive about their jobs, and I'm like, let's free up resources so that they can work on higher level tasks. That would be a great thing. So automation has been a big thing. So then I started teaching, and that's where I want to get to, because I started it was a four week program. every Saturday for about 90 minutes. And we would take beginners that were interested in robotics or automation. And in first week one, we taught them Arduino and writing programs. Then we got them into like circuit board design with like breadboards. So it's very safe also. Then we got them into designing their own circuit boards using KiCad. Then we got them into 3D printing using Fusion 360, so they would model some widget, for example. And then at the very end, we would teach them soldering so that they could assemble a robot that would do something. It would have some sensor, do some code, and then it would do something like, some kids did some watering, automated their gardening. Some kid built a security system. A senior, he built it was something reminder. It was like some alert reminder that he wanted to have like lights and sounds and stuff set. But it was very interesting because these people came in with like no skills, and then at the very end of the program, they were writing code. They were working with 3D printers. They were doing 3D modeling. And I was like, dope, you have literally all the skills for you to now develop a product. The problem with that is that developing products is like super expensive. Like you need capital and inventory and supply management and manufacturing and all that packaging, all that fun stuff. So that's why I didn't have the capital early on to like go deep into that. But yeah, now, which dovetails into our next chapter, what I wanted to talk about, which is basically to recover the last, I know we went off side tangents too, but the base foundation, Mac, VoiceLink, Notion, TickTick, GenSpark, Cider, SIDER, solid. That's your tech stack. That's your base. That's going to get you really dangerous. Then that kind of dovetails into the next one of what I want to talk about. What is your tech stack? What is your tech stack for starting a business? And so I want to talk about content, email, offer, and tech to break that down. Because I was working with one client and they get overwhelmed. It's very overwhelming with like what technology to use to like monetize your skills online. Like very simple. And I'm speaking more for like coaches, consultants. Then this doesn't really apply to like e-commerce, for example. So for coaches, consultants, thought leaders, freelancers also fall into the small businesses. Your number one like 90-day exercise is content. Is solely posting 3 times a day, every single day, starting on the TikTok platform. And then once you start accruing, like that's going to start building the following is pretty quick. The other thing too is you need to niche down and serve a specific community, because a lot of people are just posting content without any aim or focus, which is the big thing, and they're not doing the consistent volume, which is like post 3 times a day, get those numbers up, build the community, and then for the community later we can think about phase 2, which is building an email list. Starting off, Beehive is like the easiest to like set up a newsletter so that you collect emails, because honestly any of the platforms could deplatform you for whatever reason. So you want to build that email list. It is going to be the foundation of your business. Then from there, it's really critical about think about when it comes to an offer, like honestly, books and courses are like the easiest of the types of products. There are people that are been very successful just selling simple courses. You don't need to complicate anything, and you don't even need to build the whole course before. Most of it's actually going to come from your audience. They're going to ask you for help in whatever is the process that you're helping them with the transformation. So a simple book, $20 book, or a course. Courses go up to like $297. I've seen them as low as $24. They could go up to $297. It really just depends on what's the business value. What is the transformation? What's the cost if they don't buy it as well too? But these two things, the most important thing is that they are not your time. They are not hourly things. You create them once and they will infinitely bring in income as long as you market them and they solve a problem is the most important thing too. But and you can now do all this with GenSpark. GenSpark will literally write the book. It will write the course. So GenSpark's really good at like putting together like a very procedural book where it has some steps, logic kind of thing. Storytelling books like novels, or for example biographies, like I'm writing my book, for example. GenSpark's actually not the best. It's actually Claude. Claude's actually much better as a writer. So much so, like for the book experience, I did have to pay for that extra tier for the $100 a month one to like unlock Claude. Like Claude, it's not even limited. They just give you like 5 times more user requests, but I could hit. I just don't want that usage limit. That is the most annoying thing, is why I'm canceling Claude right after this, because it's great for the writing of the book. It's super helpful. The key thing is the project folders. Like project folders are like, you guys should have more project folders than custom GPTs, because you can create a business coach, life coach, and then whatever project, or literally any project that you're working on, studying for a degree, studying for a certification, leveling up in a new skill set, or even business coach, life coach. All of these are like project folders that you can create and then fill them with knowledge. Because like right now, I was just having a debate right now with my GenSpark, and I was like, hey, should I take this opportunity? It seems like a really interesting opportunity. What do you think? And GenSpark's like, no, hard no. This doesn't align with your 2-year goal, because you need to do these actions to hit these KPIs to do this. Sounds like a good opportunity. Not the best action, because this is your goal and you need to stay focused. And I was like, dang. I was like, yeah, okay, you're right. Cool. And then wrote a response. And so it helps you really good for staying on track and focused, especially when you tie that to Tick, because now what I'm trying to get to, like I want an AI Jarvis to understand my tasks, everything in my tasks, to optimize my task list so that I could achieve my goals faster, more or less. Like it's pretty much managing time management using AI. There's not really a tool that's out there per se. Like Motion is one, but it has the most complicated setup. So that's why I'm trying to build like this AI right now that integrates with a task manager that will be your business coach or life coach, and then say, these are unnecessary tasks to do, these are necessary tasks to do, this is an optimized calendar. Like I'm trying to get to optimize the whole calendar. Is like such a hack right now. But it's all being vibe coded. It's all skills that you learn as you play with AI. They unlock a ton of skills. So offer book, those 2 prices, I mean, the price points really don't really matter per se. It's just a digital product. That's the main thing, is you're not selling your time. And then for beginners, I do recommend StanStore. Like if you're just starting off, you're not tech savvy, websites intimidate you, like don't know where to get started or anything, like if that's anything like that, go straight to StanStore. You'll get the link in bio. You'll be able to develop a product, basically like fill out a form, real easy. You need a Stripe account and a business bank account on behind that, but technically you could start selling everything for $29 a month, your entire business, lead magnets, products, digital products, courses, programs, all through StanStore for $29 a month. Again, hashtag not sponsored, but it works for beginners, really helpful. For the advanced people, if you're making more than 10K a month, I'd switch over to Samcart. Samcart has way more optimized checkout, and I'm kind of very sad, but it's a business lesson. Everything you treat as just that's a business lesson. And checkout bounce rate is a big thing. I had a very high checkout bounce rate, and I was like, oh, that costed me a lot of money. So I needed to optimize that, and choosing the right tools is very important. So choose cheap tools, get cheap results, but you'll learn. So that's why I'm recommending it, because this is your online checkout store. You want to make the checkout process as seamless as possible, because if you're sending traffic to a checkout page, that is high quality traffic that you don't want to lose. So I think we will wrap it up there. We talked about the base foundations. Get a Mac, do voice to text, Notion as your second brain, Tick is your daily task manager, and GenSpark is your super powerhouse, and then Cider is your grammar writing assistant. Like Cider is he's like a very quick personal assistant to like bounce ideas back and forth. You get all the functionality of ChatGPT. You could technically cancel ChatGPT and just rock Cider, and then Cider's like $10 a month. It does everything ChatGPT does, and it's actually embedded into your browser so that you don't even have to leave to another tab to like talk to AI and copy paste between tabs. You don't have to do that. That's super helpful. It's these little things that just, when I watch my students and they're using these tools, it's amazing. It's just like watching them they'll get more work done in a day than most do in a week. Hands down. Super dangerous. And we're not talking about 14 different AI tools. Like, these are the essential base ones. That's your base foundation. And then you could go into like specialty tools like AI video, AI image, automation, app building, vibe coding, stuff like that. So nice. Oh, let's talk about Saturday. So this is what I'm thinking about Saturday. Saturday is going to be a build your content calendar in 30 days, or build a 30-day content calendar in just 2 hours using AI agents workshop. I think is a good way, basically saying we're going to build one AI agent that's going to be your content automation powerhouse. We're going to be using GenSpark. That's going to be the main thing. So that when you walk out, the transformation is you will have a complete automated content machine that will write in your brand voice, research content related to your niche or your specialty or the stuff that you like to talk about. It will write all the short form content, long form content, scripts. It can also generate the images if you want to like post on LinkedIn kind of thing, so that you have all your content necessary for you to post automatically for the next 30 days done in less than an hour, technically, if you do the system. And then you can use tools like Buffer later to schedule to post it. But that is going to be your first AI agent. We're going to replace a $1,500 content, basically the person who would do content in your business. Basically, we're going to automate that little part. And then later on, if you want to go full automation, you'll have that path where you can now it's basically what we're doing in the community. We just did day 4. Yeah, day 4. Day 4, we're in week 2 of the NAN content automation boot camp inside the AI. I got to call this Dr. AI Inner Circle, which is the community. So the Inner Circle, that's the community. And this is the second week where we're building the NAN content automation machine. This is an automation from end to end. We'll do the research, write in your brand voice, generate 30 days of content, both text, image, video, talking head avatar, post to all social media platforms, also be tailored per each social media platform, and it's completely tailored to your business. And you also could do the digital avatar to clone yourself or to have someone else be cloned. All completely built out. It's a 4-week program, so we're already 1 week in. We just actually finished as of day 5. We submitted and we completed the first automation of a LinkedIn posting bot that completely generates content, writes in my brand voice, creates the images, and schedules to publish one piece of content every single day on LinkedIn. So we just finished that automation, and it does the crazy thing. Let me talk about the cost. It only cost about $40 a month in hard cost, and then per unit of content, that's not what we measure, which is very interesting, is 40 cents. 40 cents, and less than it takes roughly, when the whole thing runs, it probably takes about 10 minutes to run through, and in 10 minutes it will do 30 pieces of content, all scheduled, ready to go for the next 30 days, already ready, one to go, done. Like in 10 minutes without any of your involvement. Do the research, generate the content, schedule to post, generate the images, the videos, and it does all that completely automated. Do you see my obsession with automation? It's like, I love automation. I want to press a button and it does the thing. That's my whole thing. That's my whole goal, is that I want to press a button and let the computer do the automation, do the workflow, so we don't have to. So we buy back our time. That's going to be the whole thing, basically, for my show, for my tech talk, for as I start teaching AI in these workshops. So that's definitely the Saturday. If you're on my email list, then definitely you could join, because I'll give you a code for 20% off. Code GenSpark for 20% off, because GenSpark is the #1 tool. So if you can remember code GenSpark, congratulations, you got 20% off to the event. It's $97. And then you also get the recording and you get the workbook after. And there's VIP if you want one-on-one. Basically, you'll get a special one-on-one with me. That's the only way to get a one-on-one with me. Outside of that, that's going to be a workshop from there. So I'm going to keep doing that. I was trying to think of anything else in the community. And we're doing the automation from the community, which is dope. So the members are loving GenSpark. So we're keep chugging along. So every day I'm going to do this podcast, share one interesting insight with you, learn something new. The podcast, just put on headphones, learn, level up. I'm Jonathan Acuna, Dr. AI. I'll be back again tomorrow at 6 p.m. regular Pacific Standard Time, live stream, and then you can catch all the replays definitely on my YouTube channel, and you can listen to them too. And I have a ton of free content on YouTube, huge library there. So wonderful. Outside of that, definitely join for the content automation workshop, or you can join the AI Inner Circle for the community, free 7-day, and then where you can come catch up. And literally, you could just download the template too. That's available too. You just come and get the template because I'm going to charge for that template. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next live stream. Bye, Gabrielle. Bye, Harold. Goodbye, Frank. Good to see everyone.